Andy. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. Congratulations on the resort. I've seen the first four episodes and I'm so hooked. I loved all of Nick Offerman's moments, especially his Alone on Christmas speech, just so beautifully delivered, beautifully written. And then Skyler's penis speech in episode three, just chef's kiss. And then the thumb war between Luis and Ben, really any moments between Luis and Ben. And then the imaginary lightsaber battle between Cristin and William. So many favorite moments. I'll stop myself there. So I'm curious, what were some of your favorite moments to write and collaborate on?
I mean, yeah, I think you named some of my favorite moments right there. I'd say, well, I guess truly one of the high points for me of the show, at least for the first half. The second half, it's a whole other roller coaster ride. But the first half is the kind of that opening beach scene in episode 2, where I think that's where it was. You saw like the true. Well, I guess when collaboration works at its best. So like I had written a version of that beach kind of like whatever meet cute in a way, and then Ben Sinclair, the director, he and I were both just encouraged improv too, and I think by that point our Cristin and Will kind of like they knew these characters better than even we did. So like the stuff about like the water being filthy, that was like in the script, and like you don't want to stay out of the water. And then Ben started like kind of shouting out like different little references to things back in that were like 2007 based, that like those didn't make it in the script, but what those did, they unlocked something in Cristin and Will, where they just went on a whole speech about turds, and that's what ended up in the and it's like it's so ridiculous and so silly, but like I'm hoping that like the people I've shown it to, even like I've shown it to my parents, like they're not people that would ever laugh at something like that. However, you're seeing like a true like electricity bounce between Cristin and Will in that moment, and to me it reminds me of like when you first you meet someone that you fall in love with, or you want, and you just want to spend the next like several years or weekend or whatever it is with, and so that was definitely a high point where I felt like, oh, it's working. We have like the two leads of the show are like just kind of perfect. So
yeah. And you worked with Kristen on Palm Springs, of course. So what's it like collaborating with her?
Yeah, I kind of just feel we are. I think she said it before. We're kind of kindred spirits in a way. And when I had told her about this when we were filming our the campfire dinosaur scene in Palm Springs. Like this was back in April of 2019, I think, or April or May of 2019. It was at like 3 a.m. I was like, hey, so this is another thing I'm doing. Hopefully someone will let me make it someday. And she seemed intrigued, and I did. And then over the next like 2 years or whatever, I was just hoping that, well, if someone does let me make it, I hope I can go back to Cristin and she'll want to do it. And then sure enough, Peacock said, cool, let's make it. And then I called up Cristin, and we immediately just like we talked for several hours about like the trappings of nostalgia and all the same things that the show is kind of exploring, and we both were kind of interested in on our own over the past few years. And so so then we just can finish each other's sentences in that way, which was it's like one of the luckiest collaborations I've had in my life.
So tell me about the casting process for Sam and Violet, and also Noah.
Yeah, for Noah, it was. I mean, I've always been a fan of Will. I think he's incredible in The Good Place, and
Yes.
and then High Maintenance. Ben Sinclair's old show is like one of my favorite shows, and so when I like went to him, I was like, I would love for you to direct as much as this as you want. And then I can't remember which one of us brought up Will, but Will was in an old one of the web series versions of High Maintenance, and so they already had a relationship, and we hopped on a Zoom with Will for a few hours, and just again I was like, oh, this is he could bring the better version of Noah to life. And then same thing for Skyler and Nina. We watched some tapes, but like Ben and I, we would, rather than doing like kind of traditional callbacks, we just want to meet with them and chat for a while and just see, like, I don't know, want them to bring their own life into these parts. And both Skyler and Nina, it's like, Skyler, obviously everyone's kind of seen him and things, and it's no accident that like the biggest directors around always want to cast him and things. So we lucked out there. And then Nina was just like, we as you've seen, she's just like a true star.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much for the art that you bring into the world. Thank you for this show, Andy. I really appreciate it. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Yeah, you too.